I recently got an order for 12 cereal bowls, and on this commission I need my coral reef combo, so I figured I would post a bit about the process and uh, just go through what it takes to make my coral reef combo. As you can see on this piece, there's a different color on the inside and the outside. That's a different clay slip, or watered down clay is the simplest description of a slip. Um, but it's applied to the surface in such a way that it creates a slightly coarse texture, but without that clay slip, I can't create the more golden color that comes from my coral reef combo. This right here is the slip, and for simplest application, I prefer to just brush it on to the surface. It's possible to trail it and other such, but for this combo, you really want the surface to be covered in the slip. When applying the slip, you can either put it onto a firmed up leather surface or a bone dry clay surface. Either way is fine. However, if you put it on too soon while the clay is still really damp, like a soft leather state, you will often have the clay absorb too much moisture from the slip, and it could weaken the piece and make it much more difficult to apply it to the surface and heavily impact the overall survivability, durability, and structure of the piece. I personally really enjoy using the pottery wheel as a method of brush and other such application because it really makes for a simplified means of brushing and applying slip, wax resist, and even glaze. There are several methods of applying glaze that allow for the rotation of the wheel to assist with improved effects and speed. Before I begin glazing, I always try to wax resist the bottoms of my pieces and sometimes a partial area past the foot, as this allows me to remove any glaze that gets on the foot or nearby very easily with a wet sponge, as if glaze is left on a wax resistant surface or gets on the foot, you'll have several problems in a kiln. Personally, I like adding a few drops of food coloring to my wax resist because it changes it from an ivory white, which is hard to see on a white clay, to, in this case, a very strong blue, which is very easy to see on a white clay body. Once they're wax resisted, I like to go ahead and rinse them off. It's fine if the water's stagnant or if it's from a faucet, it doesn't really matter. This just gives the surface a little less absorbency and therefore allows me to apply a little bit less glaze, as it doesn't suck the moisture straight from the glaze as I apply it. Right here I apply one glaze to the majority of the surface. This glaze is a key factor, just like the slip, as without it and the slip I can't get the more golden or yellowy colors. I always do, for this combo, a bit of white, which is this glaze right here, a blue, and another glaze that reacts with the white and the slip, and it creates the more golden sheen and golden colors. However, if I were to apply that final glaze too thick, it would come out closer to a black color. When commissioned for these 12 bowls, I was asked not to make them a perfect set, so therefore I took a few liberties when it came to applying some of the glazes, mostly the blue and the more yellowy gold colors. When applying the blue, I try to get it mostly similar on the outside and the upper inside. However, I took a few liberties near the inside bottom as I applied in different patterns to give off a bit more uniqueness to it. While all of these glazes are store-bought, I do know that the blue glaze has a large amount of cobalt carbonate, which is naturally that lavender color. So therefore, when applying it, it looks completely different than whenever it comes out the kiln. As I mentioned before, I need to apply this glaze in a bit of a light manner in order to get the gold and yellowy tones. If I apply it thick, it will come out mostly black. And while that doesn't affect the piece, it does impact the overall effect that I'm looking for this combo and this commission. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would, like and subscribe to get any updates on future videos. It's a huge help and allows me to keep making more videos. No matter what time you're watching, I hope you have a great day.